What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Headless's Magical Mailbag. I'm joined by my co-host Nick. Nick, tell him what you're working on. Tell him what you got coming up.
What is up? What is going on? What am I working on? I just finished. I got Giordano Bruno Part Two coming out tomorrow, but I just finished and uploaded to a premiere. I think the week after that, I got some Jabir Ibn Hayyan coming out. He's kind of considered like one of the first alchemists. He is known as the father of chemistry. So interesting guy. And yeah, I got him working on some other stuff too. Oh, we got Jumping in the Rainbow coming out tomorrow too for all of us.
Oh man, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one. I think a lot of people want to get in on that. This is, it's like an obsession. Like once I saw that first In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy way back in the day, and I saw the zombies, I'm like, what the hell is going on? I got to know more about this.
Yeah,
So,
just looking into that movie to even like polish up on my own zombie stuff, like because I didn't know much, but I even learned like even in their own like even in Haiti, there's more than one like kind of version of a zombie. I didn't know that. You could either be like actually died and came back, or you're controlled by somebody. I'm like, oh, that's a little freaky.
right, right. It's a very bizarre and yet very perennial idea of these people being controlled by a magician. And
Yeah.
now and now we have these.
Same shit, right?
Yeah, a
Same
little bit,
magician in a box.
a bit.
There's multiple magicians in that.
Yeah. Oh, we got more than one. So it's
Yeah,
it's
that's what politics and social media is all about now. Is which magician can be the most powerful on that fucking phone?
well, politics means many ticks, many parasites. Let's get
Blood
into
suckers.
your yeah, let's get into your image first. Let's get into your symbol. Let's see. What do we have
Yeah, there
here?
we go. We got Abraxas here.
All right.
Yeah, so that is a cock-headed serpent-legged sigil there, or image. So, yeah, I know there has been. I think there's other versions that we have seen of Abraxas or things like that, close to that, but I don't think we've covered it before. So yeah, this is basically it is an oval or lentil-shaped gemstone, sometimes jasper, hematite, or chalcedony, engraved, and so it can be pressed like a seal. On it stands a being with a rooster's head, a human torso and armor, and two serpents for legs. In one hand normally is a whip, and in the other hand is a round shield that sometimes bears a holy name, or stars or small auxiliary deity may hover nearby. Curators label the figure Abraxas or Abrasax. Classic examples, as usual, sits in the British Museum. They're a metropolitan. It seems like all these things are. Archaeologically, the Abraxas gem cluster is in the second or third centuries. It was found across the Eastern Mediterranean and the wider Rome Empire. The British Museum catalogs multiple late Roman pieces with full iconography, again with the whip, the shield, and the serpents, often with reverse inscriptions. Behind the object sits a contemporary name tradition. By the early 3rd century, Christians like Hippolytus report that followers of the Alexandrian teacher Basilides, I don't even know, Basilides, spoke of 365 heavens ruled by a great archon, Abraxas. The name's letters summing by Greek isosophy to 365. So 365. So whatever he actually taught, the coincidence of the name and number and error helps explain why a 365 charged deity proliferates on amulets then. So I didn't know that. Greek isosophy. I said that wrong before. But yeah, that is like basically like gematria, but for that. Who made them? They were specialist products of the same lapidary industry that cut Roman signet rings. Soft stone was carved in a taglio, which that is like a way of so you can press it to make a seal. Then hard fired or polished. The gem was set in bronze or gold or carried as a loose amulet. Because I'm not even sure if I'm saying this correct, intaglios, they were meant to stamp clay or wax, branding parcels, jars, or personal kits with a protective impress, while also being worn for show more force. Museum records routinely note inscribed reverses and stuff that mark them as magical instruments rather than mere ornaments. What the image meant in ancient readings. Abraxas is a name-powered composite built from pieces every Roman viewer understood. The rooster signals light and vigilance. On some gems, this shield is inscribed with IAO. Interesting. The Hellenized form of the tetragram, a power name.
Yo.
Yeah, all over the Greek magical papyri. The serpent legs mark chthonic reach and bound-breaking mobility. Stars and 7 rayed signs point to astral jurisdiction. British museum pieces even pair Abraxas with wow, that's interesting. Harpocrates, the horse, the child, on a lotus. A solar echo inside the same tiny field. That is interesting. That is whenever when you do the sign of silence, Crowley specifies that in his rituals, and then even the other ones that he took from the Golden Dawn or whatever. And either the sign of silence or it could be called the sign of Harpocrates. So very interesting. The number 365 again anchors the figure in cosmic totality, rule over every day of the year. Exactly why Hippolytus summarizes Basilidian, maybe that was the guy's name, Basilidian lore. Scholars now read many Abraxas gems less as sect badges and more as Greco-Egyptian magical amulets that borrow the name for its charge. In the Papyri, we find invocations like Iao Sabaoth Adonai Abraxas, names stacked to compel and protect, matching what cutters engraved on stones and shields. What people did with them, again, they wore them rings or pendants for protection and success. They stamped with them. Again, I mentioned the taglio, if I'm saying that correctly. Face could seal clay, and you can push stuff on, whatever, press it. They spoke to him. The PGM preserves the words those gems advertise. Whatever it's on there, you could pretty much, I guess, kind of almost like a mantra with it. You would speak into it, whatever's written on there. And again, if you wanted to try to see these things, the British Museum has them, and the Getty Museum has them, and the Istanbul Archaeological Museum has them. So if anybody just happens to be around by any of those, you can go check it out. But let me also see if I got other images I could show that'd be better. I just can't change it on there. This is where you start getting like the writing on there. There you go.
Very interesting.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to pull it up so people.
No, I mean, that's really good. The thing that I noticed the most is the direction of the heads of those snake legs, right? So if you're thinking snake legs, you're thinking of snake tails, but you can clearly see the heads on those snake legs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's reversed, right? So there is the chariot card, right? The charioteer of the chariot card is supposed to have snake legs. And those snake legs are the tails of the snake. That's more of like the Ericthonian version of the snake legs. And the Abraxas version of the snake legs is having the heads pointing out.
That is actually, that's pretty cool that you noticed that, because even like, it's not snakes, it's probably even like fish, but even like with Sumerian, anything else that I've actually ever seen, normally it's not like you're saying, it's always like the end. It's like the tail or the fin. It's never actually the head. I didn't really think of that. And I'm sure that means something.
Well, if I was to give a vague generalization idea of it, it would be that all parts of this deity are conscious. All parts are looking outward, right? The 365 is also an indicator of that too.
Yeah.
All parts
in this
looking
world,
outward.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that.
So Also, that's why you would put them on all of these seals and stuff, is because all parts are looking outward. It's the ultimate in defense. 365, looking in all directions at once, and also having that shield, being the symbol of defense, obviously, and the whip. Everything must move as I order it to, right? In the
Yeah,
365 heavens.
even a good idea of air too. The whip and sound.
Right. Yeah, you get this. Okay, so the middle part of this deity is a man, but the top and the bottom parts are animal. So it's like the heart of a man, right?
Uh,
And then the head of a chicken and the body and the legs of a snake. Somebody in the chat was saying it's the feathered serpent as well, but it's the feathered serpent of man, right? Because in the middle, you've got the ability to use tools and the ability to influence other things. And we see another Abraxas.
oh, that's what's interesting. That is like a big difference between us and animals. Yeah. The fact that you can, like when you see 2001, the monkey picks up the stick and realizes it can use something, and your fucking shit goes haywire after that.
Right. And it's funny because, what they were talking about with the chicken head, that means ever vigilant in Roman mysticism, right? Because the rooster is the first one to crow in the morning, right? And he's always keeping an eye out for any sort of danger during the day. So it's almost like there's nothing you can get past this guy. He's
He's also,
always watching you, never blinking.
is he also associated with Hermes? Rooster?
Oh, yeah.
See,
I
you
think
have air, and I would just say that whip might work with that again.
I would say it's the snakes that remind me more of Hermes than the head, but I don't know why. Like for me, it's the legs that represent Hermes on this one. But
Yeah,
when the
that's really interesting because again, the snakes on the caduceus, and then the rooster for Hermes, like it's totally Hermes, really, if you think about it now. A lot of
right,
Hermes.
but Hermes transcends all barriers. There's no barrier that can hold him back. So
That's why it's man and human.
365,
I mean, man and animal. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
right? But there are these like vague sort of like brush strokes where you could see other gods and other things in it, and you could see how they can get from point A to point B. And yet, when you show it to somebody who has no initiation into the, symbols and stuff, look, he's holding his hand out on the suppliant's head, right? The suppliant is like, bowing and, begging for respect, and the Abraxas is saying,
Goddamn
"Here's
guy's
my."
genuflecting over here.
He is, yeah, he's genuflecting certainly. But why is he genuflecting on a sloped surface?
That's what right? I did find that weird. I was like, is that just how they drew it? Or like, why is it like angled down? Like, I don't know.
It could be an indicator of where you're supposed to pray for the protection. Like this has to be done on like a down slope of a hill, maybe.
And then you even have that's the shield. I forgot. Okay, I was wondering what that was by its hand. I don't know. Is that the shield? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the shield. He's holding both the whip and the shield
And the
in the
shield
same
at the
hand
same time, right? Yeah. Oh, this guy's
because he's reaching out to the suppliant.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Do you say suppliant or suppliant?
Suppliant. That's how I heard it.
And it says J-A-I. Again,
Oh, sorry.
so the Egyptians would call Yahweh worshippers donkey worshippers because they could hear the yow, yow, kind of like a donkey does when it's braying.
Oh, it's right.
Right? And so donkey's a very potent symbol. Like people sleep on that donkey, but we can see all throughout history. Well, yeah, but for very different reasons,
You know what's interesting?
Like,
elephants like can know when somebody dies, and they're not even near them. Like I was watching this thing on I think it was on Instagram. It was elephants that some guy ended up like being associated with these elephants for some reason, and they ended up, he went his own way and they went their own way. Eventually, I think they were young and then they went somewhere else, whatever. And one day this guy died, and somehow these motherfuckers knew and showed up at his house and stood there for a while, just like, doing service, and then just fucking turned around and went home. People were like, how the fuck did these things know this guy died? Like, they came days later. Like, that is weird.
Well, there's always this element of fear to the Abraxas thing. Like his presence almost evokes a kind of fear. It's like you must be prostrate before him. You must be on the ground. You have to, be bowing to this thing. This thing is the highest of the heights. But it's just kind of odd because, you've got the Yahweh in there as well, the Iao, right? So Yahweh is in the Abraxas as well. But it seems to me that the classical world and the classical form of association was more about brush strokes as opposed to definite mathematical certainty. It's just more like this is similar to that, this is similar to this, and then it all sort of comes together, and then you're like left with a mystery, and that mystery is there for the person who's looking on to figure out for themselves.
Yo, you know who this reminds me of too? Fucking Baphomet.
Yep, big time.
Yeah, and like, listen, I don't know, but sometimes I honestly, there's other things that I've seen that prior to Baphomet that was very close to it, like I mentioned, Heinrich Kuhlmann. Sometimes I do honestly think that that's just an image that was created a certain way, so people are like, "Oh my god, it's horrible." Because like you've seen, countless other versions of it, like this and other things. That's like, it's actually deep meaning here. It doesn't mean like you're fucking kids are worshiping Satan.
Well, it's that Gnosticism angle that really throws people off, is because they're not really understanding that magic was kind of a way of life back then. And so all of these Gnostic rituals and stuff was an elevation of that particular form. Right?
And this one, I don't want to hold up the show either. Go on for 18 minutes just with that thing. But
well, is that a harp? Does he have a harp? I don't know. What is that in his other hand?
Looks like the weapon. I don't know. Some weird looking shield, maybe. It is circular. These are probably all symbols.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Oh,
I don't know. Is that even Greek? That doesn't look like Greek. Doesn't look like Latin either, other than the E and the I.
Some shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's so prior from the Agrippa. I was going to say it looks like something out of the Agrippas, but this is way older.
All right. Well, I got my symbol here.
Go for it.
The labyrinth.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but these are one of those things I used to like to draw in high school. It's basically a cross with a couple of dots in it, and then you connect the dots to the straight lines, and you create this sort of labyrinth type figure that spreads from one section to the other. Now, these are considered meditative labyrinths. The original purpose, we don't know, because it stretches back to about 4,000 years ago. That's when we start to see these geoglyphs being put onto the ground. But what's assumed is that this would be a meditative practice where you're walking the labyrinth. So you would come in here, right, where that opening is, and take it all, like right there at the bottom, take it up to the top, cross back over, cross back over, cross back over until you're right there in the middle. And so this procession would almost be like a spatial representation of like prayer beads, right? So each time you're passing through these channels, you're changing up your prayer as you're getting closer and closer to the center. And then you would do the same thing in reverse as you're leaving the labyrinth. right? And so there's a really cool one right outside of the Edgar Casey Memorial Library in uh, Virginia Beach, and it's way bigger than this. But you can add as many dots and straight lines as you want to. You just keep bisecting each one of the quadrants, so you can keep making more and more of these pathways as you extend the image out further, so it's fully scalable.
See someone saying
And
it's
also,
yeah.
you also have these in cathedrals as well. And they're trying to say that these are related to demons in motherboards for some reason. But that's
Oh,
really, it's tenuous at best. But
Dixon,
as
you.
with all figures that fascinate people, they have to be evil. But I think these were most closely related to geomantic energies. So in a lot of ways you would have geomantic energies that would terrify people, right? You would get into these ley lines or these stone monuments, and the energies hitting your body would be overwhelming, and you had to go through this as if it was an initiation, a rite of manhood, something where you could actually still maintain your consciousness while being bombarded with different earthly energies. And yeah, people do pass out from this stuff. If you look up Glastonbury, what is it? Fainting, Glastonbury fainting. People like all these visitors over to Glastonbury, they could be overcome with this energy and fall over and hit their heads and shit. It's not uncommon at all. So we're talking about magnetic waves that are enough to knock a person out.
Ooh, geez.
And you've got to go through that as kind of an initiation, which I think is kind of interesting because people don't really associate the subtle energies with being weaponized. But I can guarantee you that if there are geomancers out there, which have you ever looked up geomancy,
Yeah,
Nick? They call it coin flipping.
yeah.
Where's the stuff about the geoglyphs? How do you construct a geoglyph? How are the symbols of geoglyphs that were made by, let's say, Europeans related to the stuff by South Americans, right? Do we have any cross-cultural analysis of geoglyphs that are made in these different areas? No. It's like almost nobody's studying the geomantic forces and the geoglyphs themselves. Even the dowsers, like they have scant theories. Like I have noticed that there are very few dowsers that are willing to like actually make a claim as to what they're seeing. It could be because they're being paid not to. Like there aren't many dowsers out there. And if you have a monopolization on the dowsers, you have a monopolization on understanding these earth energies from one generation to the next. Like that's an immense amount of power if you think about influencing the future, creating different spells in the earth itself. I mean, do you remember the King Kill 33 ritual?
Yes, I've heard. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I've heard of it numerous times.
It's centered around Truth and Consequences, New Mexico, right? So on this ley line or on this, parallel, right? You've got these rituals taking place that will then go on to influence the rest of the country. And the guy who wrote it was talking about how the nuclear bomb was related to the Kennedy assassination, right? And it all had to do with Freemasons. This is one of the first like schizo posted, kind of off the wall conspiracy theories back in the 1960s and 70s. Nobody's found the guy who wrote it, right? And it was perpetuated by a guy who has sort of been in the background of the conspiracy movement for a long, long time. And so, what is King Kill 33? I looked into it myself and I found references back to the Golden Bough by James George Frazer, right? The dying god at the Lake Nemai, which kind of takes us back into geomancy because we have all of those elements of Lake Nemai in Washington, D.C., and you've got this King Kill 33, which is a Masonic ritual about killing the king with the golden bow type, time frame. So I think there's a lot more to geomancy than flipping coins.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean,
We just don't have access to it. And it's really odd that we don't. You'd think somebody would be looking into this stuff, At least one or two independent researchers, but all we have is geoglyphs like this one. So I guess the moral of the story is you got to walk the labyrinth more often to get the answers to these questions.
you might bump
I'm
into
gonna make one.
Bowie too if you do.
Was he big on that?
He was in the movie Labyrinth, wasn't he?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I got a crystal ball. I could see if I could do the same thing he was doing. All right, let's see. What kind of mail do we have, if any?
Yes. Oh God. This worries me that you don't look at the shit before you open it.
Nope.
All right. It's like one day he's just gonna start reading something and be running off with it and be like, "Oh fuck, did I just say what I think I just said?"
All right, let's see here. We got a lot of stuff by you, and
oh yeah, those are sorry.
no. Yeah, I got a bunch of scheduled locations, but I don't have any mail. So, guys,
what the fuck?
Please, if you've had a dream, if you've had some sort of experience that you can't explain, send it to me, headlessgiantpodcast@gmail.com, and we will read it on the air. But there's a reason why.
We get people on if they're willing to come on, too. That could be fun.
Absolutely. We love having people on the show, especially if you're a listener.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, actually, the two people we've had on the show are actually listeners.
Right. I had the people from Canada where they were talking about their experience with that weird dude. That was all part of the mailbag as well. So if you've had any bizarre experiences, I know at least 3 or 4 of you have listening right now.
There's people in the chat that I know for a fact you got crazy stories.
I could see it. I could smell it on you.
I smell it. I've been told some of them already.
So give me those stories, headlessgiantpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And we will read those on Thursdays.
Yeah, so what do we again tomorrow we got Serpent in the Rainbow. We got Ani joining us.
He's coming on too?
Yeah. It'll be me, you, Robbie Marks, and I think Jules. Yeah, it should be fun. And
right.
And then we got Peter Mark Adams, I think, for Mithras. One of these days. And then that same day, I didn't even realize that I booked, I think, 2 people on the same day. And I have also somebody from Mayan Astrology as well, the same day, Simon Pekal. So, yeah. And then I think Monday, it sucks. It's during the day, dude. I really wish it wasn't during the day. Oh, no, maybe it's at night. I got to see. P.D. Newman. I think it's during the day.
I just quit, right?
Oh, so then you can come on.
Yeah, okay.
All right, awesome. Yo, I actually had people that I was scheduling, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Because they're during the day. I was like, I kind of was pushing it off. And, all right, I got it. All right, cool. I didn't think about that. Nice. All right, yeah. Then I think I even have somebody coming on for Italian witchcraft. I think next week during the day if you're around.
Stringeria, dude. That's what got me into this whole thing.
She's got the lady's more academic. Well, she won't talk about personal life, but she covers it from an academic because she does have a PhD in the shit. So, I couldn't tell you if she practices it or not, but she, on a piece of paper, it says she has somewhat of an idea. But
all right,
she's well known. She's well known in the occult community. I was actually surprised she came on. To the truth.
Well, I might get a little bit spicy. I might ask her about Margot Adler and drawing down the moon.
Right. Yeah. No, definitely. I'll shoot you over the invites as soon as we get off here for the shows during the day. I totally wasn't thinking about that. I totally was not thinking about that. Nice.
Well, we got to still do that Wicca episode, dude. That's what really brings it all together, dude.
Yeah.
Got to do the Wicca.
We should
Gerald
do like the
Gardner and Wicca.
history of Recca. Yeah, yeah, we should do that. That is so interesting. I think a lot of people into witchcraft might be a little surprised. And again, it's not knocking the guy. It's just, he's if anything, he was just more into ceremonial magic, I think, before he started Wicca. And I don't know. I know a lot
Well,
of
there's also a
Edomites
bunch of
used to call Wicca
festivals.
filling the light.
There's also a bunch of festivals and like camping retreats and a bunch of stories from those events that are just fucking bonkers, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that'll be fun to do. I mean, it's almost like a forensic science. You got to pick apart the pieces with rubber gloves on,
Yeah.
especially Wicca. And we got illustrations. I got Uncle Bucky's Big Blue Book, so we can go
Yo,
through all of the.
oh my God, Buckland. Holy shit, that was the most driest fucking book I think I ever read.
Which one? He's
The
got a
blue
bunch
one.
of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Blue
No,
one?
actually, yeah. I think anything by him. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just very straight. It was just very dry to me. You know what I'm saying? But there's a
Right.
lot of information in those books.
And he has quizzes at the end of the chapters.
Yeah.
But that's like the different end of the occult spectrum, right? You got the all the Crowley stuff over here, and then you got all the Gerald Gardner stuff over here, and they're supposedly different, but they've got so much in common. It's almost ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, that's yeah. I mean, Crowley again gave Gerald Gardner. Gerald Gardner was a student of his, and he gave him
Right.
permission to even open up a lodge. And the guy was like, I guess he was like, nah, I'll go with Wicca. I'm gonna make that up. It's probably a little bit more profitable.
He was way too into spanking women in the forest. I mean, you can't really. I mean, that's not.
He's like, we can't do that in the OTO Gnostic Mass, actually, believe it or not. I can't just start slapping women's asses. So I'm going to have to start my own shit. I mean, even the other thing, too, I mean, he kind of made the right choice because at that point, like, you're still, like, subject to, like, Crowley's the god in that whole aura. You create Wicca, you're the god now of that whole fucking thing. So, what I'm saying? Instead of being under, like, he wanted fame for himself, not, Crowley.
Well, they were both British government assets.
Probably.
No, they were. So Gerald Gardner. No, I know for a fact. So they were having a problem because the Germans had a type of map viewing that involved pendulums, right? And so they were able to actually hunt submarines using pendulum dowsing on maps. And so they got Gerald Gardner to do the patented cone of power Wicca ceremony to block German dowsers from being able to see their submarines. And it worked.
What the?
And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. It's like, how do you block magic? Magic.
Then see, you get to start like shit like this is like, so when like what is his face? Jack Parsons, like, had that whole fiasco with the boat and taking out L. Ron Hubbard's boat. It's like, are these just retellings of the same story? We're just changing the times. Because again, now you're going back to Gardner and Crowley talking about shit in the water, and then you go back to Parsons and Hubbard, and you're going back to some fucking shit in the water. Like, I don't know.
It's so recursive. All of these things have really strong ties to water and being recursive. Like they play out over and over again throughout history. Look at John Dee. John Dee had a similar thing going on with mapping the oceans and having these storms and shit. I mean, there's a recursive element to all of these magicians having to do with the Atlantic Ocean.
Edgar Gore Observations asking a good question, though. He says, was he spanking in the woods or was he just spanking his wood? Could be either one with that.
See, we're going to have to get into the fivefold kiss, right? The fivefold kiss is important. And then you've also got the binding rituals that they would do with each other. And then, he liked to also slap women's butts, naked women's butts. And that's one of his things. That's part of these rituals, different degrees. And so, he was into a different aesthetic. Like it still had that Golden Dawn core central message, right? But it was a different aesthetic. So instead of like being sex freaks in a church. They were sex freaks in nature. Pick your poison.
I just feel like
But no, it's
somewhere in there, there's somebody who's just like, I'm going to take advantage of people so I can get laid.
of course. I mean, they're all based on Cash Patel, right? If you look at Cash Patel, you can kind of understand these guys. They're desperate nerds, right? And now they've got a little bit of power.
Yo, you know
So
that
they're
Jim
out
Ross from
there.
Long Island too? Oh man, I didn't know that until recently.
Makes sense.
I'm like, this fucking idiot. I heard Jim Brewer was like, oh yeah, Cash Patel. I was like all excited because he's from Long Island too, and he's like, I'm from Long Island. And I'm like, oh man, this motherfucker's from Long Island. Oh, I was like, God damn, I wish I would have gone to school with this motherfucker.
Unbelievable, dude. He's suing a guy for $5 million. Well, his girlfriend of
Yeah, I saw that
because he
shit.
put out a fucking picture. That's like, he didn't say anything about the picture, but he just put out the picture, and they're gonna try and sue him for $5 million for thought crime. Unreal.
Yo, if that went through, that would be such censorship. Like, we'd be fucked.
They already got $1 billion out of Alex Jones. What won't they do? They sued him for $720 million. Give me a break. There's no way he has that kind of money.
Well, I don't know. You look at some of his videos, this guy looks like he's on a boat off the Amalfi Coast, fucking, telling people that, fucking Trump's, gonna save us.
Well, he gets a lot of celebrities in his orbit, right? They think, oh, he's edgy and cool and stuff, but then he turns out to be a
Like,
big
he's got good
drunken
coke.
dork. Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, call up Alex Jones. He's got some good coke. Just have him come over and hang out for a while. Sniff an April with us.
Jeez, I wouldn't be surprised at all. That guy's off the wall. But I did get to see him once in person. In
Did you?
2008, yeah, in 2008, there was a Bilderberg convention really close to where I used to live. And so I went out there, and he was out there protesting. And so we were out there for like 3 days protesting the Bilderberg meeting. And my ex-wife got a picture of Mossad agents holding their guns at the ready as they were going into the compound. Mossad agents with their guns at the ready to shoot Americans because we're exposing the illegal activities that they're doing.
Wow. That is
That's always fun.
Yeah, right? What the fuck? That's just like all sorts of twisted and fucked up. Should be happening.
If you want to see the video, I took a video of it. You can look up Bilderberg 2008 Color of Law. It's still up on YouTube. I haven't really told anybody.
On American soil enforcing laws.
Yeah.
It's just
enforcing policies. These aren't laws.
Yeah,
they haven't been passed by Congress. They're actually breaking the law.
You should just enforcing what they want.
Right. Just holding guns out ready.
Yeah, just be a fascist for the fuck of it today.
Right.
Woke up, was feeling cute, figured I'd be a fascist.
But that was the last time that they actually went to Virginia because there was such a press push to, try and see who's showing up because, the membership list didn't used to be published. So we were out there before they started publishing their membership list, trying to get the people on camera as they were coming in and out of the place. They didn't want to let people know who was actually coming in and out. So they had a real problem with us standing out there trying to get their pictures. But we got their pictures. So fuck them.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
All right, man. Well, this has been another good episode. Seriously, guys.
Are we going to start that 777 soon? Not to put you on the spot.
Sure. We were going to do that next week after we got done with the Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yeah. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to put you on the spot and actually tell you the day we were supposed to do it. Yeah, I think next week. As far as I know, if not next week, something happens the week after, but next week. Sure. Do you have the book on? Do you actually have the physical book?
Yeah, man. I've been flashing it every time we bring it up.
That's what I thought, right? Oh, fuck yes. Thank God. Because I was I have the physical book, and if he finds the PDF, it could be off. Sometimes I've seen that's happened on Jules' show, actually. We'll be using different PDFs, and they'll be off. Which is so weird.
With the
how does
Golden
that
Ass.
happen? Is it like different editions? It just, how does
different translation for the Golden Ass. So one was a translation from one guy from Latin and then the other guy, and so it's all mixed up in there.
We had like Manly P. Hall that like wasn't like matching up. We were like, what the fuck? Was these different editions or just like fucked up copies of a legal PDF? But
Right.
yeah, we'll be doing that next week. That's awesome. Yeah, so since we both have the book, we can start off from the beginning. Probably be the introduction, obviously, in gematria before we even get into the actual graphs. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Should be fun. Should be interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean,
This
we're
is going to
learn
get
on our
really
own.
pedantic.
Yeah.
It's going to get really pedantic.
People in the chat too. When you got any shit to add, please add it. Because we don't know everything, and we don't. We get like I have my own like kind of style or things that I like. More focused on Egyptian deities. You're more focused on other deities. You know what I'm saying? So, it could be people in the chat that know what's up in other areas. Please chime in.
But if you guys don't know, this is the ultimate reference guide to all of the different materials that they would use in the Golden Dawn. So this is like how you would. It's the concordance.
The Golden
It has
Dawn.
everything in it.
The people in the OT. I'm going to be honest. There's witches that will even say, "I don't care much for Crowley, but his 777 book is still the Bible 2 spells for them." I mean, it's basically you want any association to do any type of working, you can pretty much probably pull it out of that book if you understand what you're reading. It's very.
That's really Crowley's strong suit, is taking a lot of different information and just packing it into one source. So he'll even admit it. People try to say he's a cheat or whatever, but he'll say up front, I'm just taking this from a bunch of different sources and smashing it all together.
Yeah,
that's what he's good at.
Yep. Yeah, we even got, and then Stephen Skinner did something like him too. I don't know if you know who he is. James Eshelman did 6.5 or something like that. Yeah. So there's other people who've done it, but I mean, I think there was somebody else that might have been before Crowley that did something like that. I mean, maybe you can consider it Agrippa, but I mean that's it's close.
That's a big one too. I think there's a lot of Agrippa. There's a lot of Agrippa influence right there. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming.
Absolutely. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of how to really craft a good spell, you got to get into 777.
Oh, Flower even said thank you. Got that book last week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, listen, for the most part, just real quick, people who, if you don't have the book, you can probably pull up the PDF. Like I said, it might be off, but I mean, whatever. You don't want to pay for the book, the PDF, I'm sure will be just as fine following us along. But yeah, if you can get the book too, grab it. So.
Absolutely. And I got Alchemy Monday coming up. Should have the tubing by then. And we'll run that Soxalet again. It seemed that was a pretty popular episode. We're going to have to get some of the other herbs and stuff because I've got an idea. And I might be able to build something that'll take this whole thing to the next level. What if we put a frequency generator next to the Soxalet extractor? So now you're charging the liquid with the frequencies from the frequency generator, right? You're actually creating a different association, right?
You'll be making something completely new, technically.
Right. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to check that out and keep with us. Share it around. Like the video.
Yeah, definitely.
Hit the bell button.
Bing.
And we'll see you again next time. Bye.